Chapter 15. An Interval. The second zoo day was rather a long time coming, and when it came, it was only half a day. But nobody minded. Uncle was not very well, and Mother said something about having overtaxed his strength. He spent a great part of the day writing, but always in the evenings he would come down the garden to find them, and there would be a story. Sometimes the Graysons were there, and heard too, but if they were not, Phil had always to remember every word and tell them next day. And if he said a word wrong, or put in a bit of his own, he was rather fond of that, Joan or Kitty would be sure to correct him. Then the holidays came, and Miss Sparks, as she put it, left town. Mrs. Howard would have liked to leave town too, and so would the children, but there were several reasons why they couldn't. For one thing, Mother had always plenty to do in running her household, and was also a prominent member of various committees in the neighbourhood. It was obvious, too, that while her husband was away on duty in Gibraltar, Mrs. Howard had little heart for holiday making. And then there was Uncle. He told the children once that although he had been invalided out of the army, he felt he was still part of it. Once a soldier, always a soldier. Only these days he campaigned with the pen instead of with the sword, for he knew much about military matters, which he thought it well that his country and the world should know. And the children found out afterwards that what Uncle said, the world, as well as themselves, was always glad to listen to. After all, with fine weather and such a glorious garden, there was not much need to go away. The children were out in the air all day, romping and exploring, inventing new games or playing old ones. Only when it was very hot did they sigh for the sea, and it was one such morning that brought about the second visit to the zoo. "I wish I was a polar bear," sighed Kitty, flinging herself limply under the fir tree. "Do you?" said Phil. "It wouldn't be a bad idea. Then you could stay in your pond all day, and we shouldn't be bothered with you." He spoke like that, but of course he didn't mean it, and Kitty knew he didn't. "I wish the sea lions you dreamt about would give us a ride," went on Kitty. "So do I. It would be lovely and cool. And I wish I had an ice cream and no clothes on." "Well, I never," laughed Uncle from the window above. "You make me blush, young woman. I've been wondering whether there's anything else you want." Before Kitty could think, she didn't often think at all, really, her reply had slipped out. "Yes, Uncle." Phil gave her a warning look, but it was too late. "Ah," said Uncle, "I believe I can guess. We're getting rather bored, aren't we? A change would do us good. What about the zoo this afternoon?" "I don't think she meant," began Phil, but Kitty said stoutly, "I did, Phil." Of course she did, and quite right too. And the best of it is that Mother's already said yes, for I asked her not 5 minutes ago. We won't go till the afternoon, though, and then we can enjoy the cool of the evening. I shouldn't be a bit surprised if we're quite late home." Joan and Kitty clapped their hands and danced for joy, but Phil stole quietly and anxiously to Mother. "I think he's all right today," said she. "And I'm sure he's stronger than he was. That's why I suggested the afternoon and evening. It won't be so tiring for him. And he says he can't write today anyway." So Phil came promptly back and said, "Please, Uncle, we'd love to go. Shall we make straight for the leopard this time?" "As straight as you like, laddie. Into his very jaws, if it pleases you." They whipped up the Graysons, had an early lunch, and set off. And nobody even remembered how hot it was, except the leopard.